Sup, my dudes, Valkyrja, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how Eula is the untouchable DPS of Genshin. Now, what do I mean by that? First, I gotta give a little bit of pretext as to how I think so people understand where I'm coming from and why it's actually a kind of a big deal that I'm calling her an untouchable DPS. So, normally in games, especially gacha games, I've been playing gacha games a really long time. Keep in mind, this doesn't necessarily apply to Genshin, but it's something that's kind of been instilled in me over the years. It's something I pay a lot of attention to, but pure DPS units, kind of like Eula, Hu Tao, Child, units who basically their main function is to just deal damage and deal lots of it. Ayaka's another one. They are very strong DPS options. However, they tend to get Powercrept as time goes on. Could be a year, could be 2 years, 3 years, etc. So I've always recommended people on streams, etc. to skip main DPS unless you just want them. That going pure supports tends to be the best option. Kind of like going Kazuha plus Raiden plus whatever. Going pure characters that are either off the field damage or support the team in some way because they're much harder to be Powercrept than pure DPS. So in that aspect, why do I call Eula untouchable? Well, as time goes on, more and more people are going to have more access to Constellation. Those who really care about Eula are going to have more access to her Constellations. And her Constellations increase her damage exponentially, especially whenever you hit C6 because it gives you access to full stacking her ult. Now, why is full stacking her ult? Well, it gives you two things really. It gives you 3 more talent levels, which is absolutely huge because per talent level you get increased damage per stack, which means at a maximum of 30 stacks. If you can reach max stacks, you're getting so much more damage per talent level. It's actually insane. And it makes it so her damage gets somewhere up to about a 7,000% multiplier, somewhere in that range. It could be like 6.8k percent to 7,000. It's somewhere in that range, but it is a lot. It is 188, 922, 522, and then 188 times 30. Well, it's not 188 plus that 188. That you guys get what I'm saying. And then it's also 50% damage of the basic physical damage dealt by Lightfall Sword due to her hold skill and her passive 1. You can see her ult genuinely deals the entire cycle of her ult deals so much damage. It's so much that she is almost double the next closest thing, which I believe is Ayaka at C6. I believe Ayaka at C6 gets somewhere around 4,000% damage. Eula is almost double the next closest thing. She hits so damn hard. She has the single hardest hit in the game that allows for compositions like this to work. So Eula deals so much damage, and as time goes on, people have more and more access to the crazy damage she deals. I honestly do not believe she's going to get power crept anytime soon, especially with the way MiHoYo's doing things and the fact that they seem to be kind of reverse power creeping stuff. It's really weird, right? They seem to be, instead of going forward, more so just reverse power creeping things. So as far as that goes, I'm pretty sure that Eula's fine in that regard because MiHoYo seems hell-bent on, look at that, didn't even get to do the pop. She just does so much. But if I did Bennett ult there, I would have one-shot him with the pop. But MiHoYo seems hell-bent on avoiding power creep, so I don't think any of the DPS currently are going to get power creep in the current direction MiHoYo is taking. However, Eula specifically will never be power crept because she simply just deals too much damn damage. And then she's also physical. So as long as you have Zhongli and Raiden, you're good to go. You're just running through everything. That's a very interesting camera angle. You're just running through everything and just murking everything because she just deals so much damn damage. Like you saw, I couldn't even get the ult to pop against a weekly boss. I get it, Andres is really weak now comparatively to modern bosses. Andres is basically an overworld mob at this point. But still, that is a lot of freaking damage that she gets. All I did was whack stuff. I didn't even do anything. She is just that powerful. I'm just going to finish him off with Raiden because Eula takes a minute. That's Eula's one weakness is the downside of getting her burst back. She normally has a battery. That battery normally is Raiden. The downside is getting her burst back because a lot of her damage is gated behind her burst and her stacks, Lightfall stacks, and the fact that her C2 also adds a ton to her damage. not her C2, her C1, excuse me. Her C1 increases physical damage by 30%. It is a very powerful constellation as well, but as time goes on, more and more people have more access to Eula's constellations because they'll be saving up for her, or they'll just whale out and get 1 or 2 constellations every time they come by because they're a big fan of her and her playstyle, and they want to get her even stronger. And once you get that C6, I'm telling you, her damage is unmatched. Absolutely nothing deals as much damage as Eula whenever she is C6 because of that 7,000% multiplier, and it's absolutely insane. So I wanted to make a video today talking about Eula and how she is the untouchable DPS, how Eula will never be Powercrept, and how Eula is just absolutely godlike. The only way that they can power creep Eula is by dropping an even bigger nuke, or maybe a nuke of similar stature that comes out more instantaneously, so you don't have to spend so much time with a character on field, and you can actually just keep quickly rotating out characters, cycling skills, cycling cooldowns. Maybe that's one way they power creep Eula. Maybe it's a little less damage, but it's just faster in terms of just speed, that you can just constantly pump it out. Maybe that's one way they do it, because speed's a very big factor whenever it comes to DPS, because it's damage per second, not per screenshot. But the way it is and the way it stands right now, Eula just seems absolutely untouchable in my eyes. I think she's genuinely one of the best pure DPS in the game. Whenever you factor in things like supports, it's why I always, whenever I do my tier list, I always put supports super high because I value them more than DPS, because supports deal damage too in Genshin. Supports deal lots of damage, actually. I've seen Bennett's do millions. I've seen Raiden's do millions. I've seen supports just absolutely crush stuff. So, unfortunately, due to the nature of the game, she's not S tier, but if it was a pure DPS tier list, she would be at the top or damn near the top, because as far as purely damage, I don't think anybody matches her damage output whenever it comes to big single hits. Whenever you factor in reactions, of course, there's characters that have access to Melt and Vape that can do competitive numbers, if not more, especially whenever you factor in things like Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers plus Mona. There's lots of situations where characters can outperform her, but just for lack of reactions in total and just raw damage output and just numbers, as far as numbers go, Eula is just absolutely absurdly insane, and it's one of the reasons why I think she will never be Powercrept. Anyways, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with me. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.